Hello and welcome back to another video on Vedic astrology. Today I am going to talk to you about the functional benefics and functional malefics for all those people who are born in Kanya Lagna or the Virgo Ascendant. So this knowledge is absolutely necessary in case you want to find out how the Dasha, that is a planetary period, is going to work for you in case you are a Kanya Lagna person. We are going to go from Sun down to Saturn, and let's start with Sun. Sun is the lord of the 12th house, and therefore it is considered an inauspicious planet and termed as a functional malefic. It is also a natural malefic, and in this case it also becomes a functional malefic. And the moon is the lord of the 11th house, and the 11th house lordship is considered very bad, and that makes moon a functional malefic planet. The only way such things can get altered is if the planet rules another good house, and both the sun and the moon rule only one house in every horoscope. So whenever we deal with the lordship of these houses, you get very clear-cut answers. Unlike with other planets which rule two houses, one may be good and one may be bad. But for Sun and the Moon, for Kanya Lagna people, they are definitely bad planets. Then we move on to Mars. Mars is the red planet. Kanya Lagna people are ruled by Mercury, the green planet. So obviously Mars does not like Mercury, and that makes Mars a functional malefic planet to begin with. Another way of looking at it is Mars is the ruler of the 3rd house and the 8th house, and the Mula Trikona of Mars falls in the 8th house. So it's very clear that Mars is the most powerful functional malefic for all the people born in Kanya Lagna. Then let us move on to the next graha, Mercury. Mercury is the Lagna lord, and just that alone does not make it a good planet. What makes it an auspicious planet is Mercury has its exaltation in Kanya Lagna. Mercury has its Mula Trikona in Kanya, so that means Mercury is something special to Kanya Lagna people. And on top of that, Mercury is also the lord of the 10th. So if Mercury is also very well placed in the chart, let's say Mercury is also exalted, then if a Kanya Lagna person gets the planetary period of Mercury, then it should be a double bonanza. Then let's move on to Jupiter. Jupiter is considered a functional malefic because of two main reasons. Jupiter and Mercury don't get along well because we are dealing with Kanya Lagna, and Mercury is the lord of Kanya. That's why we are talking about Mercury. And Jupiter being against the lord of Lagna, so that makes him a negative planet. Apart from that, Jupiter is also the lord of two kendras. It's a natural benefic, and the rule says that if natural benefic owns two kendras, then it will tend to become a malefic, or at least lose its beneficence. But on top of that, Jupiter becomes the lord of the 7th as well, and for a Kanya Lagna person, the 7th house is also called the Badhagasthana, or the hindrance planet. So for many reasons, Jupiter becomes a malefic for Kanya Lagna people. And then let's move on to Venus. Venus is the lord of the 9th house, therefore lord of fortune or bhagya, so that makes it auspicious. The question mark is, what about the second lordship? The second lordship, as you know, is also a bad house. It's called the Marakasthana, and Maharishi Parashara very clearly says, yes, it is capable of causing death or death-like suffering at certain points in life. It all depends on where Venus is and at what age you are in right now. If you are in old age and then it is Venus period, then you should also look out for health problems. But most of the time Venus is going to give you a lot of fortune, and that makes Venus a functionally good planet for a Kanya Lagna person. So let's move on to the next graha, which is Saturn. Maharishi Parashara has not clearly declared the role of Saturn for a Kanya Lagna person, That is because he leaves it to the astrologer to decide on a one-to-one or a case-to-case basis. Because Saturn rules the fifth house, it is good, and because Saturn rules the sixth house, it is bad. But Saturn and Mercury are friends between each other, so that is one point you'll have to consider. Another point is Saturn has its Mula Trikona in the sixth house, so he tends to do more of the bad. So in such cases, how does one decide whether Saturn is going to be functional malefic or not? So what we have to do is, on a case-to-case basis, you have to look where Saturn is. If Saturn is afflicted by bad planets and is also badly placed, you will have to consider it as a negative planet for Kanya Lagna people, because he already has the issue of being the sixth lord. But let's say if Saturn has become good by joining up with say Kendradipati in the chart, because already a Trikonadipati, that is the lord of a trine, if he says, if he joins with a good planet, maybe a 10th house lord, then he will tend to do a lot more good. So in such cases, Saturn will become a functional benefic. So this is how you understand the good and bad planets for Kanya Lagna people. In conclusion, I wish to say that the most powerful malefic planet for Kanya Lagna people is obviously Mars, followed by Jupiter, and then followed by the Moon. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please do come back for my next video.